This is the engine bay of a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner, a real Roadrunner RM23 car, hardtop. It does not have its original engine, but that's okay because right now, instead of being a 383, this guy is a built-up 440, and it is a hypo engine in it. It has power steering. It does not have power brakes, but however, it does have a new dual-stage master cylinder with new stainless steel lines leaving it. Nice, bright set of chrome valve pan covers, ceramic-coated headers, high-temp silicone plug wires, a Mopar dual-plane intake manifold. Has a 750 Holley double pumper on it at this point in time. It has a Presto light, the original equipment style Presto light distributor that this guy came with the correct tan cap on it, and the vacuum advance still hooked up and functional. I'm sure it has new belts on it. Donnie puts new belts on everything, and probably a newer battery too. Donnie puts new batteries in about everything now. It has a chrome or stainless, I can't really tell, fan shroud with the correct style clutch fan on it with a nice tight clutch on it yet, which is good. 26-inch high-flow Mopar radiator in the front of this guy too, so it does have a nice cooling system on it. The top of the engine doesn't appear to have any leaks whatsoever. Well, of course, there's no oil at all up here. That's impossible. But the front of it, the timing cover, the water pump, valve pan covers, everything appear to be just as nice and tight as can be. There's no indication of any leakage whatsoever. Someone has updated it with a transistorized ignition system on it. And of course, it has a transistor regulator for the alternator. Brand new water reservoir for the windshield washer. These are usually all deteriorated and cracked. They kind of crack apart after some time. Original Roadrunner beep beep horn that comes with the car. Core Sport doesn't have any indication of ever being disrupted on it. Everything appears to be just as fresh and nice as you'd ever hope to find. Has a auxiliary reservoir for the radiator too. Instead of just dumping it down on the ground, they did put a reservoir in so that it's the overflow reservoir. It's a nice addition to it also. 440 Mopar, this thing's going to make a ton of torque and lots of horsepower. These things were really overachievers. They rated them at 375 from the factory, which was grossly underrated. It was certainly much more than that. It's a great running car. It's a 4-speed. Underneath the hood is just finished the same as it is on top. Really, really nice paint quality. It has an underhood pad. Kind of dress it up a little bit. It's an insulator pad that you could get from the factory. Everything on the engine compartment is nice and fresh and clean, including the tag that's on the fender, and it also coincides with the one on the dashboard. So you have a nice engine compartment for this guy. We're going to go around the rest of them and show you what we can. Okay, 69 Plymouth Roadrunner, RM23 car, two-door hardtop. A little bit of a difference from the way they came from the factory. The stripes were put on, a custom striping set up on it. Roadrunner decal in the front here, Roadrunner designation on the front, Plymouth over on this side. Nice hood fitment. You can see that the gap on it up to the cowl area, and on the driver's side, just as nice and linear as you'd ever hope to find one. The paint on the car is certainly much better than the driver quality paint job. You know, I don't want to call it show quality, but it's certainly better than it ever was in '69 whenever this car was released by Chrysler Corporation. Some finite pinstriping between the silver and the burgundy paint on the car. Grille is absolutely flawless. I don't see a single marker or an indenture or a scratch or deterioration on the anodized aluminum surface. This is nice and black, just the way it should be. Nice surround. The headlights, your anodized portion of that is nice. Bumper fitment in the front appears to be about as close on as you could ever hope to find. There's no marks on the front bumper either. There's no scuffs or scratches or marks or anything whatsoever. 1969 plate in the front. There's no dings or marks on the front of the bumper either. Really nice dramatic front end on this guy. It has a great look to it, a great finish. It's a nice looking car. Fender mounted turn signals. That was an option that came with the light package option. The side marker lights, nice inset, just the way they should be for 1969. 68 has round ones. The car does have a set of, I quit, that's it. It does have a set of four wheel lip moldings on it. Again, we're going to go up here and show you the fit again of this. Look at this. Look at the door fitment. It can't get any nicer than that. Wiper arms and blades. The wiper arms are correct. So are the blades, but the only problem is these are polished stainless and these are argent. So they should be either all polished or all argent. They came actually with argent. VIN plate nice and fresh and clean with its correct six-sided rivets that they were installed with. Dash pad nice and clean. Dash itself where it transitions to the windshield. Really nice and fresh looking. Tinted window in the front here also with the sunshade fade. Tinted glass on the sides. Little tiny bit of patina on this wing area, but certainly nothing that would dictate replacement of it. Correct remote style mirror on this side. Wife's whiskers just as fresh as you could get. Nice fitment of the front glass to the quarter glass. Door has a nice deep chrome finish on the handle. And again, look at this door. You can't get it to fit any better than that. The same as the front. Interior has an upgraded interior panels set up on it. It has the wood grain on the dash like a GTX has, and also the door panels also have that. The seating area is done in black, but this is a cloth insert. So you have the cloth inserts where you're actually your seating area in the front and back with a really nice high-end vinyl trim on the outside. Seat belts in the front, seat belts in the back. Beep, beep, horn. I don't see any marks on the wheel, but we'll get a better look once we get inside the car. Aftermarket tack on the steering column, and again, look at the wood grain across the front of the dash here. Really a nice setup. And one thing you have to notice, ta-da, right in the center here, it's a 4-speed car. It's got 3 pedals on it. This guy's a blast to drive. Nice, fresh-looking door sills, inner fenders to the door, just nice and fresh and clean also. Same as the other ones we were showing you, that the door latches and the one on the quarter panel the same way, real nice and fresh, clean looking, molded armrests. Nice fitment of the door, front and back, nice gap. Let's see here. Back glass, looking down through it, the hat rack area still has the speaker perforations in it. I don't know if it has any aftermarket speakers under it or not. We'll see that once we get in the trunk. Normally these things have some deterioration back here. This car has absolutely none. Very nicely finished car, nice fit finish. Down the side of this thing, it's just as nice and fresh and looking a car as you could ever hope to find. Forgot to mention, it does have a set of BFG radial TA tires, a huge set on the back and a little smaller set on the front, but they're on a set of polished or chromed torque thrust style wheels. A nice dramatic look to this car and a great addition to it. It does have a rocker panel molding also that coincides with the wheel arches. Really a great looking car. Okay, going around the rear section of the car, look at the gap on this deck lid. It's the same as the hood, just absolute precise fitment. Hearst designation for the shifter that's on the center console there, center area of the car. No patina whatsoever on this. Look at that, both sides. Normally these have some wear, some patina on the chrome. This one has absolutely none. Rear bumper the same as the front, just as nice and fresh a car as you could ever hope to find chrome-wise. Tips out the back are the rectangular style tips that came as an option on these vehicles. Really great addition to the car. Backup lights in the back of the bumper, nice and fresh looking too. Lenses aren't yellowed or anything. Trunk area. Wow, somebody's carpeted the entire trunk area in this thing. I'm not going to tear it up, but the trunk area in the car has been padded and carpeted. You can see everything on this car is really fresh and clean. All the seals, the rubbers on the doors and the trunk area have been replaced and nice and fresh and resilient. The underside and all your latches, notice how the latches in the doors and even on the back, normally these things are oversprayed, these are not. Someone's taken a lot of care to assemble this car in the condition that it is at this point. Very nice looking car, very nice. Okay, down the passenger side, Same thing, the side marker light on this one, just didn't mention that one, but it's precise also. A nice fitment. Back of the window is the same as the other side, just as clean and crisp as can be. The wheel arch moldings on both this side and the other side are absolutely undisrupted. Forgot to mention on the other side the drip rail. There's no marks or anything, no broom handles fell against it or anything. The wipe whiskers also just as fresh and clean, and look at this window fitment again, same as the other side. Door gap, look, right on, spot on. And Devin's going to give you a whole slew of photos of this car, inside and outside, so you'll be able to see everything. Kind of hard to do here inside the building, you know, with minimal lighting, but he's going to show you every aspect of this car. Seal molding on this side is the same as it was on the other, and retractable belts, I like that idea, that's nice. Great closure, nice fitment. Same as the other side, a little tiny bit of patina. Look at the fitment. As straight and nice as you can possibly get. Mopar correct base antenna on it. And turn signal on the right-hand side up front here. And we're back where we started again. It's an RM23 car. It's a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner. That's the way it started life, and that's the way it is right now, with the exception of being a 440, a built 440, mild build on it. This thing isn't so overly cammed that you can't drive it or anything. It's a good street drivable car with tons of torque and horsepower. It's a 440. It has all the good pieces that you'd want to add to one. It's got a set of ceramic headers on it. It's got a dual plane intake manifold, a 750 Holley double pump carburetor. It's got really great condition paint, fit. You've just seen us go around it and show you the fitment of all the panels and all the brake trim on the car too, the chrome and all the pieces that are associated with accents on this car. It's as nice a one as you're going to find, especially for the money that we're going to ask for this guy. And great running car. We did have the opportunity to drive it already, but we are going to show you a video of it in action. So take a look at it. It's here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, and if you can, run down and take a look at this thing, fly down, whatever you need to do so that you can see it in person. But if not, Devin's going to have a slew of still photos and videos on the website, Hanksters, Daytona Beach, Florida. Okay, this is the underside of our 69 burgundy with silver stripes Roadrunner. A heavy-duty sway bar in the front. You can see new sway bar links, new sway bar bushings in the front, new tie rod ends, new backing plates, discs in the front. Calipers are, not brand new, but pretty darn new. Rotors are nice and thick and fresh. New, they're blue, so I'm going to call them Monroe shocks in the front. Drop downs in the front end on the inner fender panels are really nice. No one's made any attempt to jack it up on those through the years. Has a gear reduction starter, which also has a high temp wrapping around it so that the ceramic coated headers don't overheat the starter and end up ruining it. The front end of this car is really nice. Everything appears to be really fresh. Ball joints, tie rod ends, everything. 833 Mopar 4-speed transmission. Hurst shifter in it. It appears to be a fairly fresh, newer Hurst shifter in it, with all new bushings in it too, by the way. 3-inch collectors going into, I'm going to call them 2 1/4. Sorry. 2 1/4 primary pipes. Floor pans on this car have been replaced at some point in time, but really professionally done. I mean, very, very professionally done. Can't even tell that they have been done. It looks all original underneath the vehicle, but I do see a seam up in the tunnel area, so they have been replaced. Park and brake, original equipment style, still hooked up and functional. Original brake lines with the wire winding going toward the back. Original fuel line on the passenger side. The primary pipes terminate into a set of turbo or Flowmaster style mufflers. I don't know if they are Flowmaster, but they appear to be that style of a muffler. The subframes in the back, of course, are just like the front ones. There's no marks, no dents or anything whatsoever in them. Newer drive shaft on it, new U-joint in the back, new U-joint in the front, new seal on the tail shaft of the transmission. And again, you can see that there are no leaks on the engine, the transmission, or the rear differential at this point in time. But it's a muscle car. Don't worry, you'll get some in a year or so. You'll have some oil on the floor. Curvature to the springs in the back, really, really nice. New shocks in the rear. Again, I'm going to call them 2 1/4 pipes going out toward the correct style exhaust tips in the back. There's been a set of traction bars added to this car, chrome traction bars, give it a little bit of a neat racer look to it. The brakes in the back are heavy-duty drums. 8 3/4 Mopar rear, pretty much indestructible. Subframes where they transition up over the windshield. Really, really nice condition. There's no marks or dents or deviations whatsoever on them. Probably a replacement gas tank because there's not a single flaw or mark in it anywhere. New lines going into the tank, so I'm going to guess it has a new sending unit. The rub guns and the quarters appear to be original. Very nice condition. They transition onto the quarter panels, and the spot wells are still evident there. The whole car and the undercarriage of this car is just really exemplary. It's a very nice, straight, original-looking car underneath, and the outside was also exemplary. We're going to go for a ride and see what it performs like. Okay, this is the working part of a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. Burgundy car, really nice-looking car. Has the original Roadrunner hood on it, and the original Roadrunner beep-beep. Horn with it also, remote control mirror on the outside, aftermarket radio, and I'm sure it does work. Devin will have to figure out how to make it work, but you can see there's numbers on it, so when it comes to radios, I don't know, but it will work. Wipers functioning as they should. Tachometer working as it should. It has a odometer tach on it. It works as it should. Gasoline gauge working. Jeff gave us a little over a quarter tank. Alternator functioning as it should. Temperature just coming up on the gauge here. Turn signal left working over here. And turn signal right working over here. Everything in this car works as it should. We're going to go for a little ride here and see what we can show you how it runs. Goes down the road straight. Very, very nice. Straight. There, goes down the road straight, no hands. There's nobody behind us, so we'll try brakes. Oh, aim straight. Brakes, no hands. Still no hands, and stop just as fresh and nice as can be. Nice straight running car. Temperature up where it should be, just about a quarter of the way up the gauge. Everything working as it should. It's a nice running car. The remote mirror works the way it should. Everything on this car is nice. The steering on it is very, very precise. Nice precise steering on it. But the one thing we didn't check, outside turn signals. The left one is functioning, the fender mounted ones, and the right one is also functioning. So you got your fender mounted turn signals, they're functioning also. This guy a little shot here, you can hear what it sounds like. Watches a lot of cars out here today. Nice running car, real smooth, nice positive clutch in it. The shifter is very, very tight and precise. I'm amazed at this steering. Usually power steering doesn't have a lot of resolution, but this guy does. I mean, if you move it a half an inch, it goes in that direction. So it's very, very, very well done car. It goes down the road straight as an arrow, drives straight, stops straight, does everything it's supposed to. Now it's a great running 69 Roadrunner, and it's here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, and it could be yours.